If you've ever asked yourself, how do people actually make money from investing? Or maybe you've heard terms like stocks, crypto, or real estate and felt completely lost. Then today's conversation is for you. This is investing for absolute beginners. No jargon, no confusion, just simple real talk. I'm glad you are here because the truth is, investing is not just for rich people. It's not just for people in suits sitting in big offices. Investing is for everyday people, people like you. And by the end of this conversation, you are going to understand how investing works, why it matters, and how you can start, even if you have very little money. Let's start with something simple but powerful. Most people work for money. You wake up early, prepare for the day, go to work, and spend hours trading your time and energy just to earn income. At the end of the month, the money comes in, and almost immediately, it starts going out. Bills, food, transport, responsibilities, and a few personal needs. Before you realize it, the money is gone. Then the cycle repeats again and again and again. Now, there's nothing wrong with working. In fact, working is very important. It's how most people begin their financial journey. I am working somewhere myself, but here's the uncomfortable truth. If you only depend on your salary, your income will always have a limit. Why? Because your income is tied to your time. And no matter how hardworking you are, there are only 24 hours in a day. This is where most people get stuck. They work harder, hoping to earn more, but they are still trapped in the same cycle. This is exactly where investing comes in. Investing breaks that cycle. Instead of just working for money, you begin to let your money work for you. Think about it like planting a seed. When you plant it, nothing happens immediately, but over time, it grows into something bigger, something that can produce more value without you constantly being there. That's the shift. Instead of earning once and stopping there, your money continues to grow and generate more money. And over time, that changes everything. It gives you options. It gives you freedom. It gives you control over your life. Because at the end of the day, the goal is not just to work for money, but to reach a point where money starts working for you. So what exactly is investing? In the simplest terms, investing is taking your money and putting it into something that has the potential to grow over time. It's not just about keeping money safe. It's about giving it the opportunity to increase. Think of it this way. Saving is like putting water in a container, but investing is like planting that water into a garden where it can help something grow. When you invest, you are making a decision. You are saying, I don't need to spend all this money today. I am willing to set some aside so that it can become more in the future. That's a powerful mindset shift. Now, investing doesn't mean you will always make money instantly. In fact, most investments take time to grow, but over time, with patience and consistency, the value can increase. For example, you might invest in a small business, and as that business grows, your money grows with it. Or you might invest in land, and years later, that land becomes more valuable. The key idea is growth. But there's another reason why investing matters, something many people overlook. If your money is just sitting idle, especially in a regular savings account, it is slowly losing value because of rising prices. Things become more expensive over time, which means your money buys less. So investing is not just about growing wealth, it's also about protecting the value of your money. In simple terms, investing helps you stay ahead instead of falling behind. Now let's be honest for a moment. If investing is so powerful, why do so many beginners never actually start? It comes down to three simple things. The first is fear. People are afraid of losing money. Maybe they've heard stories of scams, failed businesses, or people who invested and lost everything. That fear becomes so strong that they choose to do nothing at all. And while they may feel safe, it often keeps them stuck. The second reason is confusion. There's so much information out there. Stocks, crypto, real estate, forex. Everyone is talking about something different. For a beginner, it can feel overwhelming. So instead of taking a step forward, they freeze. And the third reason is belief. Many people tell themselves, I don't have enough money to invest. But the truth is, investing is not about how much money you have. It's about getting started. When you combine fear, confusion, and limiting beliefs, you get inaction. And inaction is the real problem, because the biggest risk is not starting at all. Here's a mindset shift. Before we even talk about where to invest, we need to talk about how you think, because your mindset will determine your results. Many beginners come into investing with the wrong expectations. They are looking for quick wins, fast money, and instant success. But that mindset can lead to poor decisions and unnecessary losses. The truth is, real investing is not about speed, it's about consistency. It's about thinking long term. You have to shift from how can I make money quickly to how can I build wealth over time. That's a completely different approach. Investing requires patience, investing requires discipline, and sometimes it requires doing nothing and allowing your money the time it needs to grow. There will be moments when progress feels slow, moments when it seems like nothing is happening, but that's part of the process. Wealth is not built in days or weeks, it's built over months and years. So instead of chasing shortcuts, focus on habits. Learn regularly, invest consistently, stay committed. Because once your mindset changes, everything else becomes easier. And that's when real growth begins. Types of investments. Now let's break things down simply. There are different ways to invest. But as a beginner, you only need to understand a few basic ones. First, there's business. This is one of the most common forms of investing. You can invest in farming, trading, or any small business. When the business makes profit, you earn. Second, there are stocks. This means owning a small part of a company. When the business grows, your investment grows too. Third, there's real estate. Buying land or property that increases in value over time or generates rent. And then there are newer options like digital investments, including crypto. But as a beginner, you don't need to rush into everything. Start simple and understand what you are doing. Let's talk about something that stops a lot of people before they even begin. The idea that you need a lot of money to start investing. This is one of the biggest myths out there. Many people look at successful investors and assume they started with huge amounts of capital. But what you don't see is that most of them started with small, very small, and that's exactly where you should begin from. Starting with little money is not a disadvantage, it's actually an advantage. Why? Because it allows you to learn without taking big risks. You get to understand how investing works, make small mistakes, and build confidence along the way. Think about it like learning to drive. You don't start on a highway at a full speed. You start slowly in a controlled environment, and as your confidence grows, you move faster. Investing works the same way. Even if you can set aside 10 Ghana cedis, 20 Ghana cedis, or 50 Ghana cedis, start there. The amount is not the important thing. The habit is. Because once you develop the habit of investing regularly, something powerful happens. You begin to see opportunities differently. You become more conscious of how you spend money. You start thinking long term instead of short term. Over time, as your income grows, you can increase the amount you invest. But if you wait until you have enough money, you may never start. Consistency beats size. Small amounts invested regularly can grow into something meaningful over time. And more importantly, they build discipline and mindset needed to handle bigger investments in future. So don't wait. Start where you are with what you have and grow from there. Here's a simple beginner strategy. If you are watching right now and thinking, this all sounds good, but what should I actually do? Let's make it simple, because investing doesn't have to be complicated at all. In fact, the best strategies are often the easiest ones. The first step is to build a habit of saving. Before you can invest, you need something to invest. This means setting aside a portion of your income regularly. It doesn't have to be large amounts. No, even 10% is a good place to start. The goal here is consistency. not perfection. Once you've started saving, the next step is learning. And this is where many people go wrong. They try to learn everything at once. Stocks, crypto, real estate, business. It becomes overwhelming very quickly. Instead, focus on just one area. Choose one type of investment that feels most relatable to you. It could be agriculture, small business, or even a simple trading opportunity in your local area. Spend time understanding how it works. Ask questions. Observe others who are already doing it. Knowledge reduces fear. After that, start small. Don't wait until you feel 100% ready, because that moment may never come. Take a small step. Invest a small amount. Treat it like a learning experience rather than a make or break decision. As you begin, pay attention to what works and what doesn't. Every experience teaches you something valuable. Even mistakes are part of the journey. They help you grow wiser and more confident. Another important part of your strategy is patience. Avoid the temptation of jumping from one investment to another just because you hear someone else is making money somewhere else. Stay focused. Give your investment time to grow. Constant switching often leads to losses. And finally, review and improve. As time goes on, look at your progress. Are you saving consistently? Are you learning more? Are your investments improving? Make small adjustments and keep moving forward. This is how real investors grow, not through luck, but through simple, consistent actions repeated over time. So don't complicate it. Save, learn, start small, stay consistent. That's your biggest strategy. Now let's talk about the power of time. One of the biggest advantages you have as a beginner is time. The earlier you start investing, the more time your money has to grow. This is called compound growth. It means your money earns profit, and that profit also earns profit. Over time, this creates a snowball effect. Small amounts become big amounts, but only if you give it time. Let's quickly talk about some mistakes you can avoid as a beginner, because avoiding mistakes is just as important as making the right moves. Don't invest in something you don't understand. Don't follow hype. Don't rush because others are making money. And most importantly, don't expect instant results. Wealth is built over time. Let me leave you with this. The difference between people who build wealth and those who don't is intelligence, is action, starting even when you are unsure, learning even when it's difficult, staying consistent even when it feels slow. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to begin. So after this conversation, ask yourself, what is the small step I can take today, and take it, because your future self will thank you. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to follow for more simple, real conversations about investing and building wealth. Stay smart, stay patient, and keep growing. My name is Sadiq, and this is Dikupages Invest. Until next time, take care.